named Darline. Like she said, I'm up north with the Kings and Cruisers. How many of you have siblings? How many of you are an only child? Okay, this testimony's over. No, I was raised as an only child by divorced parents. My mother was physically abusive and my father was verbally abusive. This made things very hard for me growing up. I didn't make a lot of friends because I was either called a spoiled brat, I was made fun of, I was told I was ugly, I wasn't good enough, and I didn't matter, and that I was stupid. So, to get attention, I would go around and hang out with the wrong crowd. I would steal things. I would steal mail from the mailboxes back in the day, and I got caught. Dang it. So my mom took me to the police department and she put me in jail at like 8 years old and left the door open like this much. I thought I was never going to steal again, but that didn't happen. That scared me for a little while. I never stole mail again, but I continued to steal from my dad. I never heard "I love you" a lot from my parents or anybody in my family. My dad's way of saying he loved me was buy me whatever I wanted. My mom's way of saying she loved me was abuse. I had to learn to love all on my own. My mom worked a lot and I was always left home alone. I was outside playing with some kids, and whatever reason, they thought it would be cool if they went and told their parents that I stole soda and a bag of chips from them, which I didn't. I did not steal that time. The police were called and they took me to a foster home for the night. I was only there for one night, but it felt like forever because I remember the whole time they kept telling me what a horrible, rotten child I was. I could hear them saying that to me and to when I was sleeping at night. And then two, my mom felt so horrible about it for letting that happen to me that she took me shopping the next day and let me skip school. As the years passed and I got older, I continued to rebel against my parents. I took my mom's car without her knowing about it, kept stealing money from my dad. I became a very selfish person. At one point, I even tried to commit suicide. I was trying to find the love that I thought I needed. Back in the early 90s, I would put ads in the magazines. Back in the day, it was called the Penny Saver out there in California, where I'm originally from. And I would go on dates with lots of guys. One guy bought me a teddy bear. Didn't even meet the guy yet, but he bought me a teddy bear. Another guy said he loved me on the first date. I said, I'm out. And then the last guy, we started dating. We started dating for about a year and a half, and he was 9 years older than me, and I was 18. He was not a nice person. He never held my hand in public, always talked down to me, made me feel like I wasn't worth anything. And again, continuing with the same pattern of needing to feel loved. And then I noticed Randy walking through the halls of our high school. I knew I was gonna marry him, and it was love at first sight for me. We started dating our senior year, we got engaged on Christmas Eve and married a year later. We had our first son, Joshua, 2 years later. Things were good for us until August of '96, when my mom passed away. Even though my childhood was rough and we had some unresolved issues, my mom and I had grown close. That was a difficult time in my life. And that's when my depression started, but I guess it really started when I tried to commit suicide, but I didn't know that connection was there. I went back to making some pretty bad choices. I decided I needed a job, and I went to work for a security company and met a guy who made me feel something that I had not felt from Randy in a long time. I had a one-night stand. At this time, we were living in California. Randy's brother lived here, and he told us it was a great place to live and a great place to raise your kids, great jobs, etc., so we moved to Indiana. Within the first month that we were here, Randy told me he was done and moved in with someone else. Without his knowledge, I took the kids and went back to California. And at that time, when he found out, he came to California, got my kids, and he came back out here, filed for divorce and custody of our boys. And at that time, I didn't have anybody out there but my dad, and I knew my dad would come out here and visit. So I moved to Indiana. When I got back here, I found a place to live and tried to move on with my life. I would go bar hopping while the boys were sleeping. I would meet guys and go home with them. I found a place to live, tried to move on with my life. I continued to go to bars and go home with guys, tried to fill the void I was feeling. When it was my time with the boys, we would say our prayers at night, and Josh would call his grandmother, and they would pray, asking the Lord to bring his mom and dad back together. He said that prayer a very long time. Randy was with someone, and I started dating, but Josh never stopped praying that prayer. When he found out I was dating, he wasn't very happy about that, so we tried again. We tried that for a little while, but it didn't seem to be working out at that time. We finally got back together. Randy asked me to marry him again, and we got remarried in the Walmart in Columbia City, Indiana. It was to promote the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. We're still learning, and we still struggle. There was a church that had a van ministry, I liked how you said that would go around the neighborhood picking up the kids and take them to church. What were you thinking, letting your kids get into a van with strangers? Well, we did. Shortly after that, Randy and I started going to church. Growing up an only child, I didn't know anything about the Lord until I met Randy's parents. Love really wasn't I love. Okay, I can't read my own writing, but it's fine. I didn't really know what family and love was. I was learning, but there was still a fight between his way and my way. I was always getting in his way. But he was always saying to me, I'm right here waiting. Isn't that a Richard Marx song? Isaiah 30:18 says, so the Lord must wait for you to come to him so he can show you his love and compassion. I still felt like something was missing, something wasn't connecting. A girlfriend of mine reached out to me about Celebrate Recovery. I thought recovery was for someone with addiction. Nope, it's for anyone with a hurt, habit, or hang-up. Oh boy, did I have all of those. CR was a huge part of my life. I learned a lot about myself, good and bad, things I need to let go of, and how to change my thought process. Romans 12:2 says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Life went on, things changed, so did I. For that period of life, I was going to church, I was going to Bible studies, reading my Bible. I just wasn't totally all in, just carrying around a huge pit in my stomach. Randy and I both had been looking for something that was bigger than us to be a part of, each for different reasons. Randy to do something with his brother, me to help our relationship grow closer. That's when I heard about CMA. We started going to meetings, learning what they did, and said we wanted to be part of that. Even though I didn't ride at the time, I was welcomed and loved. The Kingdom Cruisers and CMA have helped me better my relationship with the Lord and my husband. They all taught me that there was something bigger out there than myself. All while our youngest son was still in and out of jail and prison. We were living with my in-laws, building our house, which put a strain on our marriage. I was going to school and was battling depression and suicidal thoughts. I lost myself again. One day, I was watching the news and found out that a celebrity that I really liked committed suicide. Believe it or not, it woke me up and made me realize that I needed help. Help from the Lord and from a counselor, and at that time, medication. The biggest struggle for me at the time was Noah being in prison. That took me down, and that took me down hard. One of the sessions with the counselor, she said she too had struggled with her son, and the Lord said to her, "Get out of my way." And when she told me that, I was like, wow. And I felt that pit leave my stomach, and this blanket of peace cover me. Psalms 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." I definitely have been seeing life in a different light. I started focusing on what the Lord wants for me, all the hurts, all the pain, and all the negative thoughts. I started to become a better me. Randy and I even did counseling, which was awesome. We're still a work in progress. God has truly been working on me for sure within this last year. God has shown me to give and given me so much more than I deserve. He has restored my marriage. He has removed that pit from my stomach, released my son from prison, brought me to a church where it feels like home, where there is love, brought me to a ministry that truly loves everyone, because they truly love Jesus. Now I can't see. And the biggest, seriously, I can't see, Darline. And the biggest thing that I have let go of is my depression. Oh. Thank you.
Extra large.
Thank you. And the biggest thing that I have let go of is having depression. I no longer let the way weigh me down or hold me back. I always got in his way, but when I moved, he moved. James 1:2-4 says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing." Thank you for letting me share my heart. I have a little song to play for you all. Hopefully. Maybe.
How did we get here? Across the way on a lonely shore. I can see in your eyes, dear. It's hard to take for a moment more. We've got to burn the ships, cut the ties, send the flame into the night. Say a prayer, turn the tide, dry your tears and wave goodbye. Step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away. We can dance upon a high. So light a match, leave the past, burn the ships, and don't look back. So rise and the flame into the night. Say a prayer, turn the tide, dry your tears and wave goodbye. Step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away. We can dance upon the high again. So light lights, leave the past, burn the ships, and don't you look back. So long to shame, walk through the sorrow, out of the fire, into tomorrow. So flush the feel, face the fear, feel the weight disappear. We're coming clear, we're born again. Our hopes and lungs can breathe again. Oh, we can breathe again. And step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away. We can dance upon the high. So light the lights, leave the past, burn the ships, and don't you look back.